Mhm.
What up, what up, what up? Viewers, YouTube land, wherever you're watching it from. This is another episode of Three Ways to Say It. I'm KC.
I'm Ty Carter.
And I'm Ashley.
Okay. First, how we always do, we're gonna start out just saying how our week going. So what y'all got going on? How y'all week been? What's life like right now?
Well, my birthday is Saturday. I'm gonna go to Mardi Gras in Mobile, turning 25.
I don't know. I'm just relaxing this weekend since we have 4 days off. So it's just relaxing.
Same. Okay, so we ain't got nothing going on for it. Okay. This week, this is a topic that I've been thinking about for a while, and I see it all the time on the internet. And we all see it. We see it in real life, and it made me want to ask this question: why do Black people hate Black people so much?
Yeah.
Oh,
So hard.
Right. So what it stems from is usually I'm not one of the people that really go on those different little media sites where they cover stuff. I usually see it like Twitter or something, or I hear about it. But some just made me go look at some shade room comments. And I can't even remember what the post was, but I think it was something positive or something, just a regular post. And if you look in the comments, it was nothing but hate comments. It was comments where it's like people just pulling up stuff just to hate on each other. And that made me think that's all we do, really. And that's kind of what the shade room has become. It become a place where maybe people think it's entertainment, but I don't think it is. Like literally, we post something. Only time somebody's happy about something, or maybe if they laughing at something, it had to be like a funny little something. But if it's like a regular news, people are literally dogging their own people. So I just want to start with, I got a lot of topics with this, but I want to start with, why do you guys think we hate each other so much?
Well, for me, I think, what do we consider hating? Because usually when we're giving our opinion about something, I feel like in our community it's always considered hating when we're
Mm.
just trying to critique something or just say how we feel about certain things. So I think it just depends on, what we're talking about. Um, just that whole demeanor behind the message. So um, yeah.
Yeah, and I did say that it was. I mean, we talked about it's that thin line between giving an opinion and hate. Like if you just giving
Right.
an opinion on something or trying to further a conversation, that's one thing. But when
Mm-hmm.
your intention is to make somebody feel bad or to bash somebody, then I guess that's when they fall into hate. And I think I see more of that side rather than
Okay.
just trying to further a conversation. But yeah,
And you can't remember what it was about?
I really can't even remember. I just know it's a regular post. I really don't even remember, but I know the one. It just made me go to the comments, and it was
Mm-hmm.
nothing but bad comments. I don't think I saw that one positive thing, and the post wasn't even something negative. It was just because it was us. It became a negative thing. I don't know. I can't even remember the post, but yeah. But it just
Hmm.
happens in every post. So, for an example, we talked about this the other day, and I guess it hasn't happened recently, but with the whole Ciara Russell and Future situation.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime, and I think it's because people have their likings for people, but they don't realize how it come out. Anytime you see Russell and Ciara on a post, it could be something like, well, they just having another child, or they came into something good. The comments is
Mm-hmm.
flooded with either, I don't want to say just Black women, but Black men and women, either saying that, oh, she only with him for, it's just always negative, either saying she with him for money, or either they ain't really truly happy. It's just so many negative comments, but it'd be such a positive thing. But when you flip over on the other side, when if Future say something, or he doing like bothering Ciara again, then the comments laughing, they trying to find like why he right. So it's crazy that people, we literally, when we see image of us being happy, the comments are nothing but negative. And it just
Yeah.
let me, and that's why I think that's hate. I view that as hate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
Well, yeah, I can agree. I think that now I don't know what issues that Ciara and Future had behind closed doors. So let me be
Mm,
clear. I don't know if she did something to him
mm,
and we don't know. But just to talk about that, we always tend to see Black women in this negative light, especially when it comes to like parenting. We're, Black women are always viewed as the single parents, the mothers. So whenever we see a Black woman happy with another Black man or with a white man, I'm gonna say it.
mm.
That's where their hate become, is stirred because we're just so used to that dysfunction, that dysfunctional, and not saying because you're a single mom is dysfunctional, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Y'all
yeah.
know what I'm saying.
Mm,
We're just seen as that holding the Black man down, being with the bad guy, and she probably did make a bad choice when it came to Future because he did have a few baby mamas before her, and people were saying like, "Oh, did you think that you was gonna be different?"
mm,
And she probably did. I think as women we do tend to put ourselves above certain women, and I think that these men don't care. Like
mm.
you again, another baby mama, so. I think she took full accountability on it and found somebody that she truly loves. Like if it works out, it works out. If it don't, it don't. Like she's happy. They seem happy. So
Yeah. And you would think that we want to see more like because we see like with these Black celebrity couples, so many of them breaking up. You would think we celebrate those that stay together, that seem like they're solid, and it's like,
no, they like the Krishan Rocks and the
yeah,
Blueface,
yeah,
those toxic relationships where the
mm,
dude and the woman like fighting each other because
mm,
that's what we used to seeing on TV and all
yeah,
that stuff. It's you comfortable right there. So when somebody happy, it's just no, that.
yeah,
So
It's not like the norm. So I think that
mm-hmm,
because everything in relationships are just going astray, maybe
mm,
that's why
mm-hmm,
you don't see, especially in Black communities, you don't see a lot of positive images like Ciara and Russell's.
mm-hmm,
I think that's another reason why people talking about her when in reality, I think it's good because she found somebody
mm-hmm,
that values her. She found
mm,
somebody that loves her. They've had, several children together. The marriage is going strong as far as we can see on the outside.
mm,
Like AC said earlier, is better than when she was with Future and just being a
mm,
mm-hmm.
mama. And also, too, I like the fact that they're in a married union, and she went from being a baby mama to somebody's wife,
mm,
and
Right.
and raising her children with her husband, doing it the right way. And then also too, I think she had like a prayer out there that, she had started to manifest, like the man that she wanted. So that was
mm,
another
Mm-hmm.
thing. She probably did some, of course, after being with Future, I'm sure she needed healing. So I'm sure she
yeah.
had go on, as I always say,
Self
healing,
discovery.
you know. So yeah, but I think a lot of time going back to our original, I think what makes people, jealous and looking at the bad thing is just because they're not happy themselves. When people are not
Mm-hmm.
happy, then they don't have anything good to say. They want everybody to be in misery like themselves. So you will find that whether it's in
Mm-hmm.
a relationship, whether it's in cousinships or at work, I mean,
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
I can think about several situations where, somebody is talking negative or we're not standing up for us and,
mm,
Mm-hmm.
around other people. And we do it all the time.
yeah. And we not, and that's another thing. And I think I would think more women see her like, how like y'all see her like she's winning their life,
Oh,
doing it
absolutely.
well. Yeah, and people, it's crazy. It's like we don't want to see each other win. We don't want to see that. Even though that should inspire the next person that maybe is not as happy or not in that maybe perfect relationship, that should inspire them to, it should teach them a thing or two. But instead, they don't take from it; they throw at it. Like you don't.
Right.
It's so weird.
And
I don't know why we do that like that.
and not saying, I mean, just from what I saw when, him and Ciara got together, it was mostly black men and they were talking about Wilson, calling him corny. And I think it
Mm-hmm.
was a whole big thing about him being a square not too long ago. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, why? Why do you care if he's a square? If Ciara is not that good looking, all this, and he is square, why do you care so much?
Yep.
Why?
Because
That's
it's
my
like,
thing. It's like, why?
yeah. It made me think that people be intimidated by happiness if they not happy themselves, which is
Right.
That's really what it is. I mean, it's just so weird to me. Like, I don't know, I just find it weird. I told you I feel like black men should be the pillars of our community, and they're not. Not all of them. Let me be
mm,
clear with that.
yeah,
Y'all know who I'm talking about. And when I say
yeah, yeah,
y'all know who I'm talking about.
mm,
Yes.
yeah.
And I think that we just have to celebrate women. I mean, not women, but celebrate men like Russell. I have
hmm
friends that, are married and love their wives, not cheating on their wives, and,
hmm
actually, being a very good husband, also being a very good father, and then just being a very good person. So
Yeah.
that's something that I want to touch on. You have so many people in the world that are just so deceitful. And
hmm
so really, and honestly, even when it's just platonic relationships or co-worker relationships, you don't really know who you can trust, because people are
hmm
not loving people the way they should.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't. And I was looking on Instagram today, and I saw where this guy had read a scripture, and I did write it down. I would have to look in my phone to see, just talking about how you should be a friend and also
hmm
how you should love. But that's not what people do in today's society. If people cannot use you, then they don't want to be bothered. I did see something else that it was talking about when you have attachments versus being assigned to you. So some people have an attachment with you, and then some people are assigned to you. So I
hmm
would clearly say with you guys, I feel that we are assigned to each other, because when we do
Yeah.
things together, it's not about who's going to pay for what. It's not about,
Mm-hmm.
you know, what can you get out of Tasha, or what can I get out of Casey?
hmm
Casey buys me snacks every day, and I cash
Mm-hmm.
up him, and he always say, "Don't cash at me." But I'm the type of person, whereas I know he will buy every snack that I go to that I take him to the snack
hmm
just because, for number one, he's a generous person. Number one,
hmm
he don't care that I may ask him every day because I done forgot my card. Hey, let's go in the break room. He's gonna go every time because he don't care.
Right.
He's not even concerned whether or not I'm gonna pay him back, because he has
hmm
giving spirit. But you have some other people that just don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
So they gonna probably be like, "Hey, did you cash at me?"
Yeah.
They
Right.
got their money, or they probably be saying, "I don't want to go in the break room with her. She always, So again, some people, they're just not genuinely,
hmm
looking for the best
Mm-hmm.
in people, or even being the best. And it's all about, what can you do for me? And then you
Yeah.
have those people that are just attached, which are the people that just looking for, okay, like, yeah, we'll go somewhere. Do you have tickets? Oh, I have some free tickets. Oh, okay, sure, I'll go. But if it's
Mm-hmm.
something I'm asking them to come and go and do something, they have to pay for their own ticket, they may decline. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
be careful with people like that, because I see that all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know why
Yeah.
people don't.
Yeah. I was gonna say that because, like you said, with Keontae being KC being very generous, a
Mm-hmm.
generous person, and you not taking advantage of it, because people can take, advantage of very generous
Mm-hmm.
people, like, as we know, because I'm pretty sure we all been took advantage of in that
Right.
type of
Mm-hmm.
way. So yeah, learning how to set boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like to kind of tie it in what we talk about today, and I hate for our community not to see that even though we say black community, we don't act like a community. Like it's not where we, like we looking out for each other, scratching each other back, like doing this thing where, and they don't realize everybody else is like outside of our community. They look out for each other. They there for
Absolutely.
each other. As we see, like, for example, in them jobs, they make sure they gonna get it. Even if we see them, they look like they at odds on our end. No, they trust me. No matter what, at the end of the day, they gonna help them get up to, to wherever they want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
then
think that's what oh, go ahead. I'm
oh,
sorry.
go ahead.
And I think that, and let me be clear, I do think that they do act like us out in their community, but I think the bigger part is them in front of other people that is not like them, like how they protect one another in front of a black person, in front of a Mexican or Asian person. They're always gonna take up for one another. Even the Hispanic community and the Asian community does that as well. But somehow there's no togetherness here.
No.
Right. And that's something that we got to get back to. When I look at the representation that our males do, even when it comes to help showing other men or boys, young boys, how to be men, they don't. And you got to understand that in today's society, with everything that's going on in the world, you need to show other men how to be stand-up men, because really, on all honesty, I feel sorry for Addison Age in terms of when it's time for her to have a husband, because I don't know if parents, these young parents, are raising their boys to be men one day, to support their families. You got these guys now, they're wanting women to buy them things. And so it just seems like our society is just going backwards, so what's important, what people are teaching people, and, just all of that. It's just kind of crazy.
Yeah. And I think we're supposed to move as a village, but we don't. You would think that you would think there are communities within the black community when we're supposed to work as one. Everybody's separate, everybody for themselves, nobody looking out for each other. Like you said, nobody looking out for the generation behind, nobody making sure that something is left for them. And they don't realize in other communities, they do that. Like they make sure that whoever coming next or the people is already some set up for them. They're going to make sure they're good. And I'm not too sure why we can't do that, or why we don't realize that's the only way that we hold some type of power or stability, first of all, in the U.S. period, but on Earth period. So, yeah. I don't know.
I actually had an African friend. And I don't know if this is true in the African community, but I asked him, I was like, so what does a mother do back in Africa? Like if the father died, or, the child's father died or something like that. And I was like, who raises him? He was like, it's the village. He was like, the village raises him. And that's what I do feel like it does take a village, even if the father is there. Like if your child is acting out and you see, another black male there at the skating rink and your child is acting out, I do think it's okay for him. Like, hey, I ain't saying put your hands on them, but be like, hey, y'all don't need to do that. But now we can't, because it's like, you can't say nothing to my child. He didn't do anything. No, don't do that. Like, where is it the point where we just can't say anything?
Yeah.
When I was growing up, everybody was coming at you.
Right.
Everybody coming at you.
Yeah. That's what, how we talked about how, like, when I was in kindergarten, not to put nobody out there, but I'm talking about if I act up, they knew what teacher to send me to. You know what I mean? Like, I had a teacher that was going to discipline me and make sure I was good, with my mama's permission. Now, even me, I wouldn't even, that's why I don't want to teach below college. You can't even like say something to each other. You say something, just discipline each other a little bit. You got a parent up there at your door trying to fight you. I mean, you can't.
Right. No, it be the kids trying to fight. It ain't the parent. These kids be throwing blows at these teachers. My mom and daddy would have took my head off. Like we were saying, Like, it's no way in the world. Like, yes, I've been mad at teachers. Yes, they tell me to be quiet. Yes, I get smart. Be like, I ain't the only one here talking for all the teachers who watching, because I wouldn't. But I never had a thought in my head to hit no teacher. Like, who swings on the, who fights a teacher?
Yeah.
Where is this coming from?
The house.
Child not being raised at home, a child that does what they want to do, a child that's sassy off at the mother or the father. I mean, you know, and again, a lot of our homes are broken, which mine is, because my daughter, I mean, I'm divorced, so my kids live in a broken home. So then you're having to depend on one parent to do all of the parenting, and then, you know, rely on the other one. So it's a little bit more challenging when you're having to, get on the phone to tell the other parent what's going on versus how I was raised with the parent right there in the house. So it's just different situations, you know, that children are being raised in. So it just makes it for a different experience on everything.
Yeah, I agree too. And I also think that, like we talked about before in the last podcast, where are these children really going through stuff? Like going through things like mental issues that parents aren't paying attention to. You know, are they stressed? Work, like, school can really stress you out, even like junior high school. Like, much as we don't want to believe it, it really can.
It can. Yeah.
So, and they have nowhere to place this anger but towards the teacher.
Right.
Because you're not going to hit mama.
No, you're going to go down and do it to somebody who you feel like you're not related to, a teacher you feel like you're only going to see for this amount of time who you don't care about for real.
And they're not going to do anything about it. Yep.
Just for my kids, I think coming from a broken home has probably caused them extra stress too. So in terms of, because like when I'm talking to some of my single friends that are, you know, single mothers and stuff like that, they're talking about the same thing, that their children, you know, are experiencing anxiety, depression, and, you know, doing little things. I know I have one of my friends where her daughter would like kind of slit her wrist just a little, not too bad, but she do kind of like a little bit of cutting of her wrist. And that, you know, has been a concern for her. And, you know, she started to, you know, try to seek help for her child and things like that. So yeah, these kids these days are just, I jokingly say they're just not built like my parent or even my generation per se. They seem like they're just more fragile. They're more, you know, whiny about every little thing. So
the halftime. Why I keep saying guys? Did you gals?
No, I'm a nigga. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Full women over here.
Did you see the halftime show with Rihanna performing?
I did not.
I saw a little of it. You know, you sent me the video today, so I just watched just a little of it, and yeah, I mean, it was okay. Like, it wasn't like, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The reason I brought it up was because I see, you know, like we talk about this line of like criticism and hate. I see it where a lot of people who are either saying, okay, they prefer another performer or they expecting more, that type of thing, that's okay. But for people on the other side who just hating, it's kind of like, do you realize that that's one of our faces up there during a halftime? I just feel like moments like that are not granted or just not asking for this type of hate. And that's like, you know, going back to the topic, I do not get why we can't be celebrating in spaces like that either. Even though I know these are rich people, entertainers, whatever, you know, the same thing. I know like Beyonce got these crazy these tickets, all this money. I get it. You know, I guess somebody can be mad at it, but do they realize that that's one of us, you know, getting this money, or this somebody, one of our faces up there? So that's another thing. I don't like how we're not able to be celebrated in those bigger moments. Like, yeah, people don't realize you're gonna get hate from the other side regardless. We don't need us saying it too, you know, like us jumping on it too. The world is already anti-black enough where us creating a whole bunch of hate is not helping anything. It's just, so I don't know if y'all thought anything about that, but I was just thinking about that, how when we in these big moments, these celebrities, I know we had this disconnect from them because we're not, I guess, as wealthy as them. They don't realize that sometimes when they get awards and stuff, that is still a face up there. Well, years ago, that face probably wouldn't have been up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
one thing that I read and I noticed that that they even talked about, just because they had 2 Black quarterbacks, if you notice, the commercials was not like, like those big commercials, how the one where they're just so nice. It's kind of like, because they had 2 Black quarterbacks, they kind of scaled back on everything. So they didn't get, to me, it appeared to me as if they wasn't getting a lot of sponsoring, just because of who was all centered around 2 Black quarterbacks. And so that just goes to show you how, if it was someone else, they probably would have had more of those sponsors from those, commercials and things like that. It would have just been on a bigger scale. So I noticed that those commercials was just mediocre, and that was another thing, just centering around, just because of the quarterbacks and being the, the star players. All of that matters.
I agree as well. I will say this. You can tell when it gets to a point where it's just like, okay, we got to get a Black person to do this so it can look a certain way. Do I agree with that? I don't. Yes, because you can tell when it's like they getting like that, where it's just like, we just got to find a Black person, or we got to find a Mexican person. I don't. But then what Funky Dineva said actually on his podcast, which I do agree with, is in those moments like with Cheryl Lee, is that her name? That did the Black National Anthem. When she sung that, it actually makes you feel good. Like, we sung that song when we were younger. Like, we had to know that song. And he said that he was actually like in a bar somewhere where he was the only Black person in there. So he said he knew that she already was gonna sing the song. So, you've been the only Black person, and it's kind of like, okay. And he said actually made him feel good during that, because he was singing with her, and everybody looking around like, how he know that? Like, what is that song? Because people didn't know, so it makes you feel more empowered. Like, I know this song, I was taught this, So I do agree with the whole representation. Now, going back to Rihanna's performance, I think, again, that's that fine line between trends, when people just jumping on stuff saying like, oh my God, she blew it out the park, blah blah. You just saying it because you just saying it. Nah, did I watch the whole thing? No. Did I feel like I had to watch the whole thing? Because I can tell from clips and stuff like that. Like, it was okay. Like, she did good. Did Rihanna good? She did good. Was it out of the ball, whatever, out of the park? Like, no. Like, it was okay, but like I said, I'm still happy that she was up there representing. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
And like, she's more of a singer than a performer anyway. So.
Yeah. So that's why I say I don't know what, and I think that's just another time for us to jump on each other. Like, and on top of it, being a Black pregnant woman up there, it's just some stuff that I feel like years ago we wouldn't be able to see. And now when I see it now, I think people should take it like, before you put this, I know you want to be funny and all that, but just before you make your little funny comments and jokes, celebrate it first. Like, okay, that's us up there. Then, okay, I get it. Say that's a milestone accomplishment and all that. Then you can make your jokes and stuff like that. But at least acknowledge that this should happen more often, that you're seeing it now. Like, celebrate us in those spots. Let's not, I don't know. I hate to say it. Throw
yeah.
Let's not like throw tomatoes every time we do something that's a big deal. It ain't got to be your favorite person. Just acknowledge that that's one of our faces in those spots. It's so easy to acknowledge, and I hate that we don't do that. So yeah, I hate to say that about that.
Yeah, Rihanna hasn't done anything. I feel like has done anything wrong to like bash her or anything, versus other people we didn't have up there. with a lot of controversy and don't nobody say nothing, but who am
Right.
I? Who am I?
Right. Okay. Now I got another question. Okay.
What?
And I see an example of this. Well, I'm gonna say I see more of this example on TikTok. I know y'all probably haven't seen this, but it's this girl. Her name is Aaliyah Core. And she got like this new fashion style she wear. Where I think I might have showed you. You said she reminded me of one of your friends. I think that you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, she got this nice Lula style where people want to kind of jump on the trend and kind of do it like her.
Mm-hmm.
And from that, you would think that's a positive thing. But you had these people where they kind of discredit her for it, like stop calling it that, her style and all that. And that whole time I think, and then she's a girl with a darker complexion.
Mm-hmm.
And from the comments you could tell it's more of like if this would have been on somebody else, I think it would have been celebrated more. They do not like to see certain faces be everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's what so I just want to ask. That's how I'm gonna start it off. I just want to ask, why as Black people do we hate like where we came from, that Afrocentric features that see like what we like the things that when they think of us, like they always go back to Africa and stuff like that. Why do we hate those or our roots? Why do we hate our roots so much? So yeah, I had to ask that question.
Because we were trying years ago, and I think it kind of probably started in slavery, how they divided Black people up. So if you were a fair complexion, then you got to do roles inside the house. If you were of dark complexion, then you were outside. So it was like for the ones who well, the slave owners had probably, fathered children with those women. Those were the ones who, probably got a little bit more special treatment. So I think they just taught us at that time, to kind of hate ourselves and hate the difference that we wore in terms of complexion. And then it just trickled down. I have to say that I have some family members that is so stuck on color. It's ridiculous. And, they just think that if you are lighter skin complexion, that it's right, and it's just crazy because it's that old slave taught mentality that has been passed down to people, but they still do that today, have that colorism. And I mean, let's say, my skin is a little bit fair. I get darker as I get older, but I have been in situations where I have been favored, whether it was in school, whether they, the teachers sometimes have favored me because I had long hair. These eyes, light color eyes, just my fair skin. Literally, like I have been the teacher's pet opposed to some of my classmates. So it's real. And you could be on both ends of the spectrum and know it. I mean, like literally, I walk into interviews sometime and I interview very good with men and, just instantly get the job just based on, it being just a look. And so I think these are things that they taught us to do. These are things that, it still exists. It really does. I mean, it just does.
Yeah. And I hate for us to know history and not learn from it, but okay.
And that's what I was going to say. I think sometimes we tend to just stay there because we'll say like, okay, it happened back then. It was the white people that put it on us. And it's just that. And it's like, no, we as a community have to change that. It is out there. It is real. It is true. Again, just going back to experience, I've never been picked on because of my darker complexion, but I know other girls who have. And like growing up, you'll never think nothing about like I even laughed at it. It's just like, okay. But as you get older, you kind of see like stuff like this affects them. Like it really does. And you see it in the workplace. Now, I would say I feel like I interview better with white people because they see us all on the same level.
Yep.
Versus if it was black people, black men or black women, I feel like they grade us based off looks and skin tone. But white people grade us just based off everything. Like it ain't no all us black. And that's why I wish that we could see that. Like, even not just white people, Asian people, Mexican people, we all black. We all get treated the same. So I can never understand it. What was your question? Because I feel like I'm not getting to the point. What was your question?
My question was, why do we hate our my question was basically like, why do we hate our Afrocentric features? Like, why do we hate that? And that's what we, that's what we all view it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I personally just again, I do think it stems where it does stem from that, but also with us knowing that why aren't we doing better? Like we know if let's just say, even I just noticed little things like, okay, have you ever been in a situation where you got a brown skinned person and then you got a dark skinned person, right? They always gonna pick even though she's brown and quote unquote to somebody who light skinned, she dark skinned. I'd be like, what? Why do it matter? Like, I just like what, like, or people. Have you ever seen? I remember growing up, people used to be like, they didn't want their kids to be like dark. They want to have like long hair, curly hair, mixed kids, and I used to be like to this day, I can never understand why is complexion a big thing. And to me, I do think me seeing it as a dark skinned girl, that to me, that's the insecurity. People, if a guy has to come up to me and uplift another girl based off my complexion, he insecure himself. And if she's settling for that, she insecure herself. People, that's just what I know. Is always dark skin, insecure. Whenever we say something, we insecure about something. But I feel like any dude got to come around me, or any woman that feel like you think you look better than me because you light skin, or I can say the N word, but a ninja, like Dr. Shauna be saying, a ninja come around me to say that, like, I just find it weird anyway. For one, like I said, I didn't grow up in that world where we were separating in my household, or nowhere where it was this complexion type thing. And it could, because all of us are around the same color. Now, my brother was a little lighter than us, if we just want to talk about it. But other than that, we still around the same complexion. So I just never, like, to this day, I just cannot understand it. I don't know where it's coming from. Like, why?
Yeah.
Is it me? Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm more insecure in my height
than the color. Yeah.
My complexion. Like, I'm not in the mirror like, oh my gosh.
It exists. I have one of my friends who is darker complexion, beautiful girl, but she did tell me a story where she said people would say to her, "Oh, you're so pretty to be dark skinned." Like, who says that?
That's so
anyway. So, I know I have cousins that, especially on my dad's side, where they're lighter and darker. I mean, it's just a whole. It's just they all colors, and I mean, you just be amazed at some of the bull jive that goes on, just based it around color.
Yeah.
So
it's weird. It is so
weird. It's uncomfortably weird. It really
is.
Yeah.
It's really, just like, what in the world? Like,
I cannot air this out because I mean everybody see this, but anyway, I have literally cousins who are just really, really, really hung up on color, and it's bad. But
I think black is beautiful. I'm trying to see where
that's what I be saying.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where people don't see that. Like, it shouldn't even. I mean, black is really beautiful. Like, when I see
my mother is browner. My mother is brown, and
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I tell my mama all these times. Like, she ain't got no wrinkles, no dark marks, no net. I'm like, oh my God, your skin is so pretty. Like,
right.
I don't know, and I think that's probably why I fell in love like with dark skin too. It's just, I don't know. Like, I just don't. I don't know. I want to know why. And two, I think sometimes when we are talking about colorism, it's kind of like bashing light skins, and it's nothing to do with
It's
it.
not that.
Not from
Yeah,
me anyway.
yeah,
Because I'm just gonna put it like that. If you nice to me, you nice to me. If you cute to me, you cute to me. If you ugly to me, you ugly to me. I could be ugly to people. I could be ugly light skinned people. I don't think that they calling me ugly all the time. I'm gonna say that because I'm
yeah.
dark skinned or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just you not appealing to certain people, and that's fine. Like, but I don't want to put that out there because sometimes I think when we're talking about colorism, it's always kind of like this bashing light skinned people. My friends are light skinned. She thinks that's the thing. She thinks she brown skinned. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. They're my friends. I'm not looking at their skin
Right.
tone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or kids. It is so weird how people do the kids. Like, why do you care? If I want my child to look like me, I want my child to be dark skinned. I don't care. I'm not searching for somebody lighter than me to have, and I know people who do that. So you can have a light skinned child and not understanding. You have to look at your DNA, baby.
Yeah.
Light skinned women push out dark skinned kids if their husbands are dark skinned. Not saying all the time.
No, that's not true.
No. Again, see, what I'm saying is we know light-skinned women. I know light-skinned women who have pushed out very dark-skinned kids because the dad is dark-skinned. That's not saying all the time in all cases, but it can happen. So you literally have to be careful. And just because you light-skinned, was your granddaddy light-skinned? Was your grandma light-skinned?
Yeah.
You got to look at all of it. So that's why I just
they go and put color from some other person. You know,
it don't ever work out like that. Yeah.
My
most light-skinned people I know, their grandparents be dark-skinned.
Yeah.
Or one of them, either the grandma or the granddad will be dark-skinned. That why I just be like, we put too much. It's kind of scary. But again, if I just feel like if a dark-skinned woman say anything about a light-skinned woman being insecure, we hate. They're going back to the hate thing. We insecure, we jealous. But light-skinned people, I'm gonna say people, I ain't gonna just say women, light-skinned people can talk about dark-skinned people all day. It's the truth, all this. We insecure. And it's just, I see insecurities in people all day. I'm insecure with certain things. It's there, but I just feel like if you have to use my skin tone or people's skin tone to do that, it just shows right there what your insecurity is your skin tone. It just is what it is.
And I hate and people tell me this all the time. People be like, oh, your children will come out this way, or make sure you ain't with nobody this way. I be like, who care? Who care about that type of stuff? I can care. Like, what you, I don't understand.
I'm like dang, dark skin people, they ugly.
I'm saying you. I'm gonna be
damn. I think it's just a preference. It's just a preference. It's just
about your kids,
huh?
I would think the first about your children. What you want your children to be like? What you want them to look like? That is weird.
Okay, so
I'll see. That is now. I see if you saying like, I want them to look like me, or they need to look like their dad. But based off this. Like, I want them to be light. I want them to be dark or something like that. That is.
Yeah.
What if you dark skinned? I want my baby to look like me. That means you dark. Like, you want your baby to be dark. But to me, it's just like, but why are we talking about like I want my child to be healthy? Shouldn't that be the first thing?
I mean, you want me to be honest? You want me to be really honest? I mean,
I want you to be, and that probably is the truth. We just asking why. Like, why?
On all honesty, I wanted my children to look like me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be real honest.
That's okay.
I mean, I wanted them to be about the same color as me. I just did. I didn't want them to take his color.
Though?
I just didn't.
Because of the way probably how society treats darker skinned people. And I'm not saying that's your answer, but I'm thinking that's why certain people
I just
do
want
that.
to look like me.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying, but you also said complexion wise too, because they can look like you and be darker, right?
Oh, you mean you wanted to be like
I
clone? I
want
mean, like exactly
I want
like it.
enemies, and I got many me's. Like
Okay,
they
you
look
want to
just
be
like,
Yeah,
okay, okay, okay,
because
and we're all about the
when I
same color.
so yeah, when
okay.
I
I
say I
get
want
it.
my child to look like me, I mean I want everything to look like me, right? If I hate kids, I'd be like, okay, I want my baby to look like me. That means everything. I mean, you know, complexion, height,
Mm,
everything, right? To me, anyway. So I know a lot of people that look like their parents, but they are still a different complexion from them. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, just sticking with the complexion thing. I think. And also just even with white people, I've worked with white people where it's again they you know we talked about it like their child dating like a black guy or whatever, and it's they don't care, but the part that they do care about is how
Having
society will treat them. So
yep.
that's the truth about it. It's or how you think society will look at them or how you really look at them.
Yeah.
It just has
That's a
to be
lot of
the
answers
truth.
to
Like
it. Yeah.
it, and if that's what it is, then it's just that's
Yeah.
just what it
That's
is.
reality. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, like I guess I'm just big on like how do we fix that? Because my niece is brown skin. She ain't ugly. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of brown skinned kids that's not ugly. So
Oh, you gonna say.
wait, what you say? What you thought I was gonna say? Wait.
I was like, I was like, what?
but
Go ahead.
but yeah, it's just like how do I think only all I'm gonna say is I just feel like only the black community can do this, and we gotta stop relying on
Yeah,
this.
because it's
Oh,
here. Yeah.
it started back from slavery. We ain't in slavery no more. Let it go.
Yeah, that's why I hate that. I
Oh,
feel
and
like
stop the preference thing too. I hate that. Like that's your backup thing. Like, oh, that's just my preference or something like that. Like, don't say that stupid stuff. Like, it's one thing when we talking about preference, and it's one thing if we talking about colorism. Like,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
But okay,
them.
so okay, and again, I just said that's what I that so like okay, so that just means that you're speaking to me because again, I just said that. I said I wanted my children to look just like me.
Yeah,
I
we
just
heard
did.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
and we
think she
said
was
that
talking.
that's okay.
Yeah, she was talking in general. I
But
think. I
my
think
thing
she.
is that what I'm saying is if you saying you wanted your kids to look just like you, and you also said skin tone wise, I said your kids can look like you and still be darker than you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm telling you what I want.
Yeah, and I
You want
heard
me?
you, and I
You
agree
want me?
with
You want
you.
me to be honest up
Yeah,
front?
and that's okay. Yeah, ain't that wrong with
Yeah,
that?
that it's
Yeah, ain't
okay.
that wrong.
Like, I mean, I'm just
Okay, so
saying,
let
I'm
me
just,
say
and
this.
that's what.
So let me say this because my mother is browner, and I have my oldest nephew. He is um dark brown, and he's handsome. So it's not that I didn't want them to be darker. I just always dreamed of having girls that look just
Just
like
like,
me in every way.
yeah,
Yeah,
which is fair.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
we
what's
that
wrong with
that is
that. Yeah.
fair.
Right.
And you got it. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And y'all
Right.
kind of
So what you
all
were
look.
saying?
Oh, I was saying I hate that. Like I was saying, like we know history, and it's like we don't learn from it. It's like I think at some point we gotta like here go history. I think we gotta be here. Like I think we gotta okay. Now it's time for us to set it up for the future. Like we can't really rely on like okay, we gotta be knowledgeable. Like okay, this is where this stuff started. We gotta set it up for ourselves right here. If we don't want
Yeah.
stuff to be like this forever, we had to, address the stuff now. Let's fix it now. Let's
Don't
work on
want
that stuff
to.
now. That yeah, we don't want to do that.
It's
But yeah, that's
comfortable
that's the
being
process.
right here. Anything again that helps elevate another person or anything that helps elevate me. Like it's just I feel like especially if we talk about colorism, like if not even colorism, we can just talk about what men like.
Yeah,
Even we know at work, you being a man, you have an advantage over me and Tasha, right?
Right.
So any man in the department not finna say nothing about it because I ain't besides you because you talk about
yeah,
it, then it's okay, right? I think it's
right.
all psychology too. Like much as we
Yeah,
talk about like this just the way the world is. But not
yeah,
saying that we can't fix it because we can, but it's not gonna happen overnight. I just
It
think
ain't.
that it just
Nah,
takes the black
nowhere
community.
near.
We cannot rely on other communities because it happens in other communities as well,
Yeah.
except probably white people because who want to be dark.
Yeah.
But we know it happens in other communities where being
Well,
darker
they
is
do. They do.
I
They
seen.
think
go.
they do.
Yeah.
They
They
do. They
probably
get a
Huh?
go to
tan.
the
They
color.
get tans, and they would get tans. They wear
Yeah.
dark. They do though, in a way,
So
without
exactly
it, without
like,
admitting it,
but we
without
want to
admitting
be
it.
like them. It's
Yeah,
I mean, oh,
yeah.
not saying that we want to be like them because I hate when people say that because we don't.
Not
But
at all. Yeah.
well, we know some people who do. But you know what I'm
Which
saying?
is
Like
crazy. Yeah,
look wise, yeah, it's so
Like,
yeah.
weird.
y'all, I kid you not. I used to work at Regis, and it used to be this lady. She used to tan so much. I promise you, me and her
I believe
was the
you.
same color
Yeah,
because
they
she was
do.
just a orange
Yeah,
because she tanned
Yes.
so much. Like she could have went 2 years without tanning, and it probably would. She would have still been my color.
yeah.
Like,
Mm-mm.
and she
They do
tanned,
that.
so you could tell that it was affecting her skin. It was
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they can tan a little too much, and it was just like, I'm telling you, me and her were like, she could probably use my foundation. She was orange,
Man.
so she was like, she was so tan to even other people the same race as her would be like, you need to let up on the tan, and they was jokingly say it behind her back. They wouldn't say it to
Now
her,
that's
but
bad.
they
That's
would
bad
be
right there.
jokingly like,
Yeah,
okay, you need
that's
to
bad
stop
right there.
sleep in a tanning bed.
Yeah, because
I told you I instantly think of Jersey Shore. I'm sorry.
yeah,
But I love
yeah,
them. I love Jersey Shore. I swear to God, I love that was like one of my favorite
yeah.
shows. But
But it's like that.
I think it was Snooki that was like orange or something. Who was orange? Somebody was orange on
It was probably all of them. Yeah, nigga definitely was. I don't know. Nah, that's why I say some. Now some of them, I ain't gonna lie. You like you say, it's all psychological. Some of them do it where it's protect them. Actually, why do they do
From
it
what
again?
I'm okay, say for instance, like a lot of the bodybuilders, what it is so that they won't look so white, and it does look better and
I
motivate
believe it.
when they're in
Mm-hmm.
competitions. So what
I
they'll do,
believe it.
they'll just spray just a little bit on them
Mhm.
just to make the picture pop, just to
Yeah,
accentuate whatever they have on. That's all.
yeah, yeah.
It's just
I believe it. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
seeing the bodybuilders do it, and it make them look like they look better when
You can
they're
see
posting
it,
that stuff.
finds
Yeah,
their
the
body.
yeah,
definition.
I understand now.
We use bronzing and things that kind of highlight our
Mhm.
already
Yeah,
pigmented skin. So I
yeah,
had a
but
We
but
do it and we enhance
we
our
gonna
what we ghetto
it be
time.
over. Yeah. Okay, so to finish this topic out, the thing I just want to say is that as African American adults, it is our responsibility to set the tone for the younger generations come behind us. I know I'm not as old, I am 25, but I do feel like I'm responsible for being a part of that change. Like when we realize that all we have is each other, you got to look at it kind of like family. I know people don't want to. I know you don't know it. Just because you're black, I mean you love or related to every black person. But we got to look at it as if we're gonna be called ourselves the black community, and if we want to fight a lot of systematic things, the only way we can do it is together. So I do think it's our responsibility and duty to try to start changes now. I mean, start. You never know what tomorrow brings. Be something else crazy
Mhm.
happen. Start today. Try to break some of those cycles you have with your children, with people around you. If you not saying you become this crazy activist, but if you hear things going on and your words or a change need to happen, step into it. Let people know that black is beautiful. Let people know that together we are strong. Just and move with that mindset.
Start at
So,
home. Everything starts at home. Continue to just uplift your children and not just your children, your nieces, nephews, who's surrounding you, your friends, kids. And just, you know, empower them no matter what you look like, get home, do what you want to do, be whoever you want to be, and just go from there. Like the sky is not the limit.
there you go.
Yeah, I don't
I love
know.
it. Yeah. Okay. Pat, why are you looking at the ground? So something we want to take on into the week. So I'm going to let Ashley start it. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
All I wanted to do is kind of put a thank you out there, even though I know we talk about enough how we don't do enough and stuff, but there are some faces that show some good representation. So I do want to, I just said some random names, whatever. So I just want to say thank you to Kiki Palmer, Serena Williams, Shirley, who did amazing at the halftime. I mean, at the Super Bowl. Kelly Rowland, Viola Davis, Lupita, Tika, she's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh, Sumter, yeah.
Yeah, she is.
Jennifer Hudson, Issa Rae, and Michelle Obama. Those are some names. Those are some names I just want to say thank you to, because no matter what people say about them, they are a great representation of Black women and us, period. And we just need to see that more. So before anything, I just want to always say thank you to them. We need to see more of that. And it's a good start to see them always, in good light. So that's my remarks for this.
Oh, okay. Well, I totally agree. Especially Michelle Obama, who is my idol. I love her. I love how she represents our community and also the Black family. Her and Obama and two girls. Um, I love her. If I ever saw her, like I would just pass out. But I guess my message for tonight would just be like, be yourself, be true to like who you are. And just let your light shine. Whatever that light is, let your little light shine, like the gospel songs say. Just let your little light shine. So I'm gonna go with this since I saw the sun in that card. So let your light shine. Then my idol, my Black woman idol, is Michelle Obama. Do you guys have any Black women idols? That's in the spotlight besides our mothers and aunts, but just someone out there in the limelight. I like to call the limelight.
Okay, I can go. I'm glad you said woman instead of man, because I actually can look at. I just love Black women.
It could be a Black man too. It doesn't matter.
It's gonna be a woman.
Okay.
And I forgot too. I just love the spirit of Viola Davis and Angela Bassett. Like every time they
I said one.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. Okay, well, okay. I can't pick one. I just love them both. But well, let me just say I love them for the same reason. So it's like their spirit. It's just it's a kindness that just pours out of their spirit. Like you could tell they are very like they walk by the faith of God. Like you could tell the reason they look so good at their age is because they literally have just been living these happy, carefree, hardworking lives. You could say they work for everything they got. And I think it's important to see that they have viewed the, discrimination and unfair treatment of Black people in in their industry, and they have sat through it. And it's just amazing to see that they got to the point now where they have receiving all these awards. And for example, like Angela Bassett being like the star of Black Panther, a Marvel movie, which you don't see that. You don't see Black women being the star of Marvel movies. So that's something amazing I like to see. So with them, they inspire me to just literally walk through the faith of God and just literally know that I know what Angela Bassett said, and I'm always quoted wrong. She said, and I don't like to quote like stuff about God wrong. Before you, then who can something? I don't know. But anyway,
right.
Who could be against or something like that? That right there, literally, I walk by it. Like I know I kind of I stress a lot, worry a lot of it. At the end of the day, I know like what am I stressing for? I know who I am. I know God got me, and I move on. So those spirits just inspire me so much to just live like that. So, and they are amazing representation. So yeah.
Okay. I thought we were doing like 3 minutes, but okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm just playing. Go ahead. That's good though. I agree with all that.
Well, I would like to shout out my woman to be the founder of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Soror Elta.
Okay.
So actually, Her and 19 other women was the ones who started it. So by it being the spirit of Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Join the conversation. You know, we always trying to reach out to the Black community. So please, Black community, you know, share this, join in, say your piece. You don't always have to agree with us. We understand, as long as you're keeping the conversation going. So yeah, see you guys on the next episode.